A new report suggests that AEW CEO Tony Khan is reportedly constantly making last-minute changes to AEW television, with some comparing it to WWE in 2019. We saw Jordan Grace last night on NXT, and it is expected that the collaborations between WWE and TNA Wrestling are expected to continue in the days ahead. We have the ratings for this past Saturday's edition of AEW Collision. Heading in to AEW Double or Nothing, Ethan Page breaks his silence after attacking Trick Williams in his WWE NXT surprise debut last night. An IWGP World Championship Eliminator match is confirmed for tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS, and Will Ospreay reveals why he wants AEW to sign former TNA Wrestling president Scott D'Amore. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about a new report on some of the chaos, shall we say, or certainly the chaotic nature of AEW television at the moment, particularly last-minute changes from AEW President and CEO Tony Khan. Now, last-minute changes to All Elite Wrestling programming has reportedly become a common occurrence, to the point that several changes were made to Sunday night's Double or Nothing pay-per-view only hours before the show began. Within a discussion on the F4W online board comparing All Elite Wrestling to 2019 WWE, Brian Alvarez noted, quote, AEW today is a billion times better than WWE in 2019. Alvarez, however, then detailed that plans often aren't finalized until the day of the shows, with Tony Khan booking TV week to week. He said, quote, with that said, Tony switched the script on yesterday's pay-per-view multiple times during the afternoon. Most people, not just the wrestlers, have no idea what they're doing until the day of the show, and sometimes not until an hour or so before the show. People are flown to towns and given nothing to do. Others are begged the day before the show to please get to the town so they can do something last minute. He knows what he wants to do for pay-per-views, although this often changes, but as far as week-to-week television, everything is booked show to show, Alvarez wrote. He continued by saying, quote, for most people, he's incredibly difficult to get a hold of. In some ways, it legitimately is more like 2019 WWE than it is 2019 AEW, where he was much easier to get a hold of. He had a very complex long-term storytelling. Many people had a good idea of what they were doing and where things were going, and often most of the following week's entire Dynamite card was booked and announced before the previous week's Dynamite had even ended. Remember when Excalibur would run down 24 matches in 30 seconds for the following week? It's night and day, the changes, and people who work for the company in all roles from the wrestlers to the office talk about it all the time. Now, when people are talking about 2019, it's often remembered for being one of the worst years in WWE history from a creative standpoint, partly due to the last-minute creative changes from Vince McMahon that became a weekly occurrence. The year was a poor one for WWE booking, with angles and moments such as the Revival shaving each other's backs, Shane McMahon as the best in the world, and Goldberg versus The Undertaker taking place in Saudi Arabia. Of course, Tony Khan is the head booker of All Elite Wrestling. The AEW CEO does have a team to assist with creative, which includes QT Marshall, Will Washington, Jimmy Jacobs, amongst others, but Khan retains the final say over AEW creative. Now, what do you make of this report? Is that something that's coming across on television? Is that one of the problems? Do you think that AEW is like 2019 WWE, or is that a bit of a stretch and hyperbole? Let me know your thoughts and reaction to that report in the comment section below. Now, plenty of people are still talking about TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace's appearance last night on NXT and the possibility of collaboration between WWE and TNA Wrestling moving forward. Now, an update has emerged on the working relationship between WWE and TNA Wrestling following Jordan Grace's appearance on NXT. With Grace previously competing in January's Women's Royal Rumble match, there has been some speculation in recent months about WWE's next interpromotional venture. The TNA Knockouts World Champion made a surprise appearance on Tuesday's NXT episode, where she was revealed to be the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez's opponent for NXT Battleground. Per Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the work backstage at this NXT taping indicated that Jordan Grace appearing on NXT Battleground won't be the only WWE TNA collaboration in the days ahead. The report noted that sources believe there will be NXT representation of some variety at future TNA events. TBS. However, it's unclear who will be involved and at which shows. NXT Battleground will emanate from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas on June 9. Grace wasn't the only shocking appearance on NXT, of course, with former AEW and TNA wrestling star Ethan Page making his debut on the show as well. So what do you think about this collaboration, and what do you think about the possibility of NXT stars appearing in TNA? Who do you think it could be? Who would you like it to be? Let me know your thoughts about that too. Now, let's talk about the ratings for Saturday's edition of AEW Collision on TBS. Now, AEW Collision saw a decrease in viewership on May 25. According to WrestleNomics, 415,000 viewers watched the show on Saturday night, and it drew a 0.15 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Now, the viewership is down from last week's episode when 523,000 viewers tuned in. The demo stayed even with last week's episode, which also drew a 0.15 rating in the same demographic. And when it comes to the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. We can get those up on the screen right there. Now, as you can see right there, the show kicked off with a promo between Don Callis and IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley. Konosuke Takeshita attacked Moxley from behind to give him an advantage heading into Double or Nothing. New Japan Pro Wrestling President Hiroshi Tanahashi teamed with Claudio Castagnoli and Daniel Garcia to defeat The Righteous and Lance Archer. Mariah May was also in action and picked up a victory over legit Layla Hirsch. The main event saw Bryan Danielson and FTR defeat the team of Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Now, when it comes to competition for the broadcast, Collision aired on TBS as opposed to its normal network, TNT. According to Programming Insider on ABC, the Celtics vs. Pacers NBA Conference Final averaged 6.482 million viewers and a 1.72 in the 18 to 49 demographic. The Oilers Stars NHL Western Conference Final on TNT averaged 1.460 million viewers and a 0.47 in the 18 to 49 rating as well. Now, Ethan Page, the former AEW name, made his debut in WWE NXT last night, and he has broken his silence following his surprise WWE debut on the USA Network. The May 28 show was a shocking one, not only featuring TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace, but also a surprise appearance from Ethan Page. The ex-AEW name attacked NXT champion Trick Williams in the closing moments of the show, with commentator Vic Joseph acknowledging wasn't he in AE before Booker T cut him off. Page has now taken to Twitter to comment on his attack, writing, quote, "I guess I whooped that trick." Now, while Page has remained active on the independent scene, he last wrestled for AEW on December 5th, 2023 on AEW Collision against Kenny Omega. His last match for Ring of Honor took place at the February 14 taping against Anthony Henry. It has now been confirmed that Ethan Page has officially signed with WWE, with Page joining the company over the last few days. Now, AEW Dynamite is live tonight on TBS, and a match has been announced by AEW President and CEO Tony Khan. Jon Moxley is set to compete in yet another Eliminator match on the May 29 edition of AEW Dynamite at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. Ahead of this week's episode, AEW President Tony Khan took to X and confirmed that IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley will face New Japan Pro Wrestling mainstay and office member Rocky Romero, who's out to earn a shot at Moxley's title. He posted the following on social media saying, quote, "Wednesday night Dynamite tomorrow, the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, IWGP World Heavyweight Title Eliminator, Jon Moxley versus Rocky Romero, officially on the path to AEW/New Japan Forbidden Door. Days after scoring a win at Double or Nothing, Mox will face Romero tomorrow night." Now, Moxley is set to defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Evil at New Japan's upcoming Dominion event in Osaka, Japan on June 9. But those plans might change if Romero somehow wins this Eliminator match and a subsequent title bout before then. Moxley has been a fighting champion since defeating Tetsuya Naito at the New Japan Windy City Riot pay-per-view in April, defending the title against Powerhouse Hobbs, Ren Narita, and Shota Umino too. Moxley has also defeated Konosuke Takeshita in a Eliminator match at Double or Nothing this past weekend, meaning that the Don Callis family member won't have an opportunity to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight title at a later date. That said, Callis has been trying to recruit Moxley, so it's possible that his stable will have more bones to pick with the champion, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. And finally, Will Ospreay says he wants to see Scott D'Amore in All Elite Wrestling. Now, Scott D'Amore's firing as TNA president by Anthem Sports took the wrestling world by surprise, as he was widely credited for restoring the company's reputation following years of hardships. However, Will Ospreay believes there could be a place for him in AEW. During an interview, the AEW International Champion spoke about his admiration for D'Amore and explained why he hopes to see him get hired by Tony Khan. Speaking in an interview with Adrian Hernandez, Ospreay said, quote, "I can't tell you enough how much respect I have for Scott D'Amore. If there was anything that I want to put out there, if there was a way that AEW could hire Scott D'Amore in any type of fashion, have that guy run Ring of Honor or something." Ospreay, who worked with D'Amore during his previous stints in TNA/Impact Wrestling, believes that the executive transformed the promotion. The AEW star also praised D'Amore for his passion and ability to get the locker room to rally behind him. Ospreay isn't the only other wrestler to have discussed D'Amore's strong leadership abilities either, as Alex Shelley claimed he had to talk some TNA stars out of quitting the promotion following his dismissal. Of course, it remains to be seen if AEW or D'Amore are interested in collaborating with each other. D'Amore filed a trademark for an old wrestling company earlier this year based out of Canada, suggesting he might have plans to open his own promotion. However, both parties have worked together in 2022 when AEW and Impact collaborated, so there is a pre-existing relationship between them. What are your thoughts on Scott D'Amore? Would you like to see him come into AEW? And if so, what would you like to see him do? Would you like to see him manage Ring of Honor, a specific AEW show like Dynamite or Collision? Let me know your reaction to it in the comment section below. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.